that is a good tape job, if I do say so myself. Shwing! Oh, I just realized something. Forgot a spot. Alright, there we go. Got it fixed. So I'm just gonna put some of this on there. This black is super thick. This is my favorite clear. I think it's my new favorite black too. I use this exact brand and type for all my clear coats. I'll tell you what, this black is amazing. So every video that I've seen online, it shows this piece here basically as one piece all the way around the back, and then it opens up in the back, and basically you put Velcro on there, and then you basically connect these two pieces together, and then the thermal detonator covers up the Velcro that's on the back part of it. Every one that I've seen, and that's the best way that I can find to do this. So I did have the front piece here, and the back piece here is two separate pieces, but I went in today, and you can see I put Bondo. Well, I glued it together. I had already had it heat formed, so it fit together really good. And then I used super glue and baking soda. Got this, it's like concrete. Put them together, but you can see how much it curves in, and that was too much of a curve for me. So you can see how much less of a curve it has now that Bondo's on there. That looks a ton better. So you can tell from the inside just how much it curves, but there's still a little bit of a curve, so it still looks good. A little bit more of a curve on this side, so I'm going to put a little bit more Bondo on there. But it looks really good, And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rotary tool or my Dremel, and I'm going to follow this line all the way up. And what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to make a gap in here big enough so whenever the Velcro is not strapped across in the back, you have to pull it closed. So I'll probably have to put, I don't know, maybe I'll just take one of the sanding bits for the Dremel and follow the line with that, because it'll give me a pretty big gap. So it kind of sucks because I got this all nice and silky smooth. You can see just how smooth that is. And now I'm going to have to go in there and Dremel it all out. So that kind of sucks. Basically all I did, if you guys want to know, I didn't show this on video because it's kind of pointless. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but I basically just mixed up some Bondo, like a whole bunch of it, globbed it on here, and then I took a straight edge, went from the bottom, I just went straight up to the top, and then of course it spread some out, you know, and then I took that straight edge and went back to the bottom, went over on this side, and then over on this side, and basically just took my time, trying to smooth it out as much as possible. And then I took it this way, so I would still have a little bit of an indentation in it, because it was just straight down. But I don't want that much Bondo, because the Bondo is going to be hard as a rock, and it's going to put all the flex on the front instead of here. And I want, whenever I open up the back, I want to be able for the entire thing to flex, not just put all the stress on the front, because I do have a seam here on the front that I don't want to end up, after opening it several times, and it busting the seam. So the less Bondo the better. So I wanted it to have a little bit of a curve into it, so I took the straight edge and went this way, got a bit of a curve into it. And now I just got to take some Bondo putty, and there's some spots here, right up here on the top, right in here you can see little kind of notches and stuff in the Bondo. And then same thing over here, you can see all that there. And I gotta go over with spot putty. That was spot putty. I wish I would have taken a picture of this, because I mean that doesn't do it justice, and that doesn't do it justice. I mean, I loaded up. Underneath this Bondo is just a ton of super glue and baking soda. I mean, you can kind of see it through right here. I mean, it's loaded. This right here, from here to here that you can see, that is all super glue and baking soda. If you know what you're looking for, if you've done this before, you know what you're looking at. And that's exactly what this is, baking glue and, or super glue and baking soda right here. I mean, this is like from here to here, globbed all the way up. And it looks like I've still got a little bit of a crease of the Bondo right here, so. Alright, that's that. And then, hanging up in my closet is the back piece, which has been Bondoed, Bondo putty, and then this is the basic way that I do it. I was explaining in the first video how I usually do things backwards. People usually put the Bondo on first, and then they go over with the spot putty like I'm doing with the belly piece, the belly and lower back piece. But this one I'm doing like I regularly do. I put the spot putty on to kind of help with sanding, and then now I'm Bondoing over the spots that need heavy Bondo. Then I'll probably go back over it with the Bondo putty one last time. To me it's a little bit quicker, but I know a lot of people don't really do it. I printed off this piece that doesn't come with the file that I have. This is from Thingiverse. It's a free file. It's like paper thin. Like paper thin. Because those parts are wrong. Dead wrong. And they don't wrap all the way around. It goes around the front part of your arm and stuff. It just looks weird. So I put this all together, printed it out, sized it up, put it all together, and then in the videos that I've watched, they just have this part here and around. And so I'm probably going to Dremel this out. I've got to get it all sized and stuff. So when you put the back piece on, it's got this here, and this has Velcro on it, and then that front chest piece connects to these, but it doesn't hinder your ability to get in and out. And I was kind of hated the fact that this was paper thin at first, but when I connect this to the back piece, that paper thinness is going to actually benefit hugely because I'm going to have to be able to bend these out to fit my head in. I got it cut in the back here. Sides are basically finished with the Bondo and such. So that looks really good. So now you can kind of see how that goes, and basically just put it on the ground, stick one foot in, next foot just slips up and over. So then in the back it'll have little straps that go over it, and then the thermal detonator will cover this entire area, this entire gap. So it's pretty comfortable. There's not a whole lot of room, but like I said, I heat formed this to fit my body exactly. So I mean, the sides are literally heat formed to my body. So I didn't show this because I was caught out moving. I was trying to figure out different ways to do it actually, but if you're wondering why this piece of tape is here, this is how you get a good straight line. I went to the top where the crease was on the top and started the tape there, and then found the crease on the bottom and then pushed this all down, and it was a straight line. I started with a Dremel. I used one of these bits, and I've got like a metal version of this with teeth on the end. I couldn't find it for this video because I've switched to a buffer to try to buff some of the imperfections out. And you can see that, for one, you can't put it straight down on, but it doesn't really go all the way through because, say my fingers are the Dremel head, so basically it goes about that far in. So I got about halfway through with the Dremel, or rotary tool, whatever you call it, and then I went to the inside and starting from the top with a soldering iron and melted the rest, which is good because I didn't want to do that. I wanted a clean cut, and you can see how unclean this looks. So now I'm going to have to go back over it with Bondo on the edges to make it look good. Even though you're not going to see it, I still want it to look a little good. It was perfect. I mean, a perfect straight line. It looked really good. It was about double the width of this because I went one, and if you just do this width and you keep going, it'll start getting stuck and it'll burn out your battery real quick. So you want to go in and then kind of do this whole thing a little bit and widen it up a little bit, and then go some more and then widen it up. That's how you want to Dremel a piece like this, or else you'll go and go and go, and then you'll go back over to, and then you'll get stuck and get stuck because this heats up and the plastic heats up and it starts kicking up wads of plastic on the inside, and so this will just get stuck on it and stop. So you want to make sure that you get it wide and get it enough room to where the plastic kicks out. I couldn't come from the inside. My Dremel, the handle was too big, and it curves at just the right spot that it put my bit like this every time that I came in here. Too much of an angle. I couldn't get a straight angle on it. I wish I'd had a big enough bit, but in cosplay you live and learn, and so I'm going to get a bigger Dremel bit is what I'm going to do. Anyways, it's just about there. Stomach piece. Oh, and then these are what I showed you in that video. For zero Bondo, I still haven't used any Bondo on this, any spot putty or anything. Top part, that's what it looks like after one wet sand, just how smooth that is. I made a video showing how to smooth pieces without Bondo. So just to speed things up, there are a few spots that I'm going to put a little bit of Bondo on this piece, mainly just in the front because this up here needs quite a bit of work. roof. You can see up here, to strengthen this up, I put some fiberglass to connect these. Well, I super glued it first. I'm keeping these on underneath because they actually hold this whole piece over my shoulders perfectly. And if I were to take them off, it would kind of droop down a little bit. It would like move this way, but it's perfect. So I'm going to keep them in there because I like them. But first, I glued the black piece right there, the thin black piece, onto the blue. And then you can see the fiberglass resin and fiberglass pieces there over the top of it. You can see the fiberglass there. And I didn't just put I put the fiberglass, the cloth, over the top part here and over the top part on that side. But that stuff sucks to sand, and you have to go back over it with fiberglass when you're done. This cloth sucks. I just have some left. I didn't want to use it. I was going to go out and get some regular fiberglass, but I had some left and I want to get it used. You can see that it gets air bubbles in it like that. And when you sand over this, the fiberglass piece comes out and it's still like a cloth filling, and it's real hard to like get a good finish. So then you got to go back over it with a little bit of a... Maybe I'm just not doing it right. And you can leave a comment. Let me know if you use fiberglass cloth. But maybe I'm just not doing it right. So there's just a lot of work to be done on that. But I cut the edges off here with a Dremel. It was real nasty looking. And then the edges for the outside off with a Dremel. This actually came all the way down the side here. But I wanted to get it because the actual Stormtrooper has that little lip part in the back. So I wanted to get that in there. But I also wanted that little edge right there all the way around, and so I'm bondoing that to make it look good. Down here is where the thin piece there met the back piece, and you can see from the bottom the two different pieces. Well, this might be easier. But I'm trying to make it one piece, and so I just loaded that up with Bondo. I think I can take this off. You can see that it didn't match up perfectly. This side, it still had a gap right here. And so I put tape down and filled that all in with Bondo. And same with this side here. It's got tape all in it, Bondo. They didn't fit together perfectly. The front piece and the back piece didn't fit together perfectly, so I did put super glue all in it, and you can see the baking soda there, and I did it to the outside too. But the inside of that still had a lot of space left in it and stuff, and so at first I dumped a whole bunch of super glue down in there, and then dumped some baking soda in just to make it kind of hard as a rock and stuff. And then I dumped some fiberglass resin in there to give it a little bit of extra strength. Same with that side, you can see. So I'm hoping that's real strong. So it's just the gaps. And see, I put the fiberglass up here in the gaps, and I just forgot to put the fiberglass in the gap there. So I had to do the Bondo. I don't know how good the Bondo's going to last. Bondo's not that strong. But I'm hoping to come back in here and be able to smooth that out and make it look like one piece. You can see the outline of the other piece right here. I mean, this piece is real thick. You can see how thick that piece is there. And then you can see how thick the front piece is. I mean, that's a huge difference in thickness. And then I took fiberglass. You can see the fiberglass all down here, the fiberglass resin. All down here. Because, and this is important, this whole front piece here is going to be cut off. So this is I'm going to come in here with a Dremel, and because this is so thin, the Dremel cuts it real easy. I'm going to keep this line going straight down, and I'm going to wrap it around, probably just diagonally through, let's put a line here, diagonally from here to here. And this front piece will be open, and since this is thin, I'm hoping the fiberglass strengthens it up so I can, when I open this in and out to get in and out of it, this has a little bit of flex to it, but it's still strong because of the fiberglass resin. This fiberglass resin is still pretty flexible. So, a lot of work. Ooh, that's alright. See, that's, you hear that? That's that thin piece. Just busted that. Because you just can't put enough glue on it. I mean, this is a heavy piece. And I was holding it right here. Just busted that. So that's all going to be cut out. And that chest piece will fit right over the front. That's why I can cut that out, because then I'll put Velcro, you know, here and here, and then down here and here, and then that front piece will just go right on there. There's actually a ton of these Stormtrooper suits out there. A ton of videos you can watch of putting the Stormtrooper suits on that I've got a really clear understanding on how to put this together. So this will be the end of this video. The next video is going to start out with the thermal detonator, because the other side will be done. This is one side of the thermal detonator here, and this will show you exactly how this is going to go on the back. So there will be Velcro here and then Velcro strips down here, and this is only one side, remember, so that'll go just like that, and then the other one will go over here, and so that entire thing will be covered, because the back piece will come down to about here, so you won't even see that seam in the back at all. So that's why you cut the strip down the back. See that? That's perfect. Oh, and then I forgot to show you this. This is the thigh piece. And the way that this is printed, I tried to split these up, but you can't really plane cut a curve like this. But it's cool because it's only connected up here, and then along right here. And so I'm going to cut this in the back, and then that's going to be able to open up, go around your leg, and then there will be a clip right there, a little detail piece clip right there. And there's the other thigh piece. So you can see how loaded up I'm getting with the super glue. I want this to be strong as hell, so I'm putting a ton of super glue and baking soda on it. That's all, of course, going to be sanded down for the most part, but I want to make sure that it's in there and it's holding strong. Same thing, it's going to be Dremel cut right up there at the top, and then that will fit together perfectly. I did print the shin piece, but it's way too small. But I just want to show you this before the video ends. It's the exact same way like the shins. You can see where the front meets the back. In the file that he made and sent me, I took the original file in and tried to separate them, this piece from that piece, but it's a solid piece. So I think you're meant to cut it or something. I'm not sure. I wish it was a little bit easier and I could have just separated the front from the back. All these videos, we'll be putting this together really quick and getting this out, because I want to get back to Cosplay Thursdays. What do you guys think about that? Getting back to Cosplay Thursdays and building helmets. I love helmets. This has been a ton of fun. A ton of fun to build these suits. Especially the Iron Man. Just a big learning experience. With this one, it's going to go a ton faster because I have that experience now. The Iron Man was so much harder. I wish I would have built this one first. I wish you guys on Instagram would have said Stormtrooper rather than Iron Man, because I left it up to you guys to decide which one I did first. Because this one's so much easier, and it would have given me so much I probably would have built the Iron Man a whole lot better, but I was basically guessing. There's not a whole lot of 3D printed Iron Man builds on YouTube that you can follow along. You basically have to do it yourself. In fact, if you ever build one, watch my videos. And it's not trying to get you to, trying to get views and trying to get money and stuff. It's literally, there's not a complete catalog that you can watch. That one guy, the robotics channel, he builds an entire old Iron Man suit where the lights are only in the chest and the hands and feet. But he does all sorts of other stuff to it, and he builds it himself to where it fits with like the ankles fit into a frame and all this different stuff. So it's not the exact same thing as getting a full 3D print and trying to just 3D print a thing. So, I mean, I watched quite a bit of his videos to try to get an idea, but it didn't really help much. Anyways, my name is Bryson Michael RC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is video number 2 for the Stormtrooper build, and expect these to be pumped out pretty quick from here on out because I don't have very much left to print.